Hey guys, and welcome to Quick Look, where we take a look at a video game. We throw in some scores on different categories and I tell you whether it's worth getting or not. And today we are playing Planetbase, a game that I had sitting on my desk for about 3 weeks. And I forgot that it was there for 3 weeks, and then I actually played it, and I realized how wrong I was to actually wait to play this game for 3 weeks because, oh boy, is this, spoiler alert, really good. So, Planetbase, you build a base in a planet far, far away, actually not too far. This kinda looks like Mars if you may. It uses all imaginary places. But what you need to do is create a base on which these little people, you actually start with only a handful of them. I right now had like 100, but you start like with, what, 15? It can be 10 or 5 on the harder worlds. You can actually play in 3 different worlds. And you need to create a base on that planet on which they can survive by first off providing energy and water. You can store that water and energy away for whenever you're not producing it. In this case, it's, you know, nighttime, there's no wind, so, you know, you only get, you know, you can only really get energy during the day pretty much. So I'm storing it, you know, during the day, and then during the night I just use my batteries. And then I need to provide energy to all these buildings, in example the airlock, so they can go in and out from the insides, right? These are the insides where they can actually breathe. Whenever they go outside, they have to use their own tanks of oxygen, right? Let's see if we can find a person outside. No, I cannot find any. Alright, so, and inside they can all breathe. You can see they have different needs. In example, they have health, they have nutrition, which is eating, hydration, oxygen, sleep, and morale. Morale is pretty much anything that makes them, you know, have fun or distressed, you know. Anyways, and you need to produce that oxygen they consume. You need to produce those plants that will be making, you know, that will be used to make meals so they can eat them, right? The meal maker will make those meals. And I actually love the fact that they have like these big boxes indicating you what they are carrying. I love that. Even if it looks kind of silly, I don't mind. Perfect decision. I'm all in. And you can see the sun is rising, and, you know, solar panels are already producing, and these batteries are gonna start filling up again. And so yeah, and you also need to produce those components that you used to build, like metal and bioplastic. Now, metal can be made out of ore that is harvested from these mines right here outside. You also need to make them. And bioplastic, was it? Yes, from starch that comes from some of these plants. You'll see that some of them will produce just food, but some of them will produce, well, let me see if I can click one of these. Alright, it will produce actually 2 food and 1 starch for each production cycle, I guess. And, you know, but you have different kind of people. You know, biologists will maintain this, while workers will go into the mines, and engineers will construct stuff, and so on. And let's see, I can show you right here all of the different kind of humans you can have: workers, biologists, engineers, medics, and guards that will protect the area in case you get attacked. And then, of course, yeah, that happens like later on when you have some kind of prestige like I do right now. And then you also have bots that can be carrier, constructor, or driller. Driller will be the ones going to the mines and getting that ore out. So on this case, we have a fairly big, not huge, but big base compared to really what you start with. And on the very beginning, it's really tight. I mean, trying to survive in those conditions, oh man, it's really difficult, especially when you're just getting a hold onto the game. But mechanic wise, it's really good. This is one of those games you can spend a lot of hours in. There is not much level of customization, and there is not much more to do than what I'm showing you right here. I pretty much build just about anything you can build, with a few exceptions. But anyways, and I do have some gripes with the game. Many have been fixed, but some are still there, and I don't think they're gonna get fixed. So should I go for the bad stuff already? Oh boy. Let me tell you a little bit more of what I like. So I love the connection system. You pretty much select, you know, an interior or exterior structure to build. I'll pick an interior for now, and I can set say a processing plant where, you know, this ore and starch are produced into these other two materials you use to build. Like you can see right here, you can use the scroll wheel to change the size. That will change the amount of objects you can place inside of them, you know, giving you more production or more use for that facility. And of course better connections to other spots. And you can see it's actually suggesting me, okay, what kind of connections I can make whenever I place this. And the placing is not great. I don't know, usually, like, sometimes it won't really let you do stuff for some reason, but whatever. For the most part it works just fine, and you can just build one of these, and yeah, we can do that, I guess. I'm not gonna save this, so you go ahead and place it, and then you select this, one, and then you select another one, and this icon will show up so you can actually connect them. Now this will create an interior connection, and soon enough you will see some people coming in. We're gonna speed up the simulation. Alright, you can see them moving all over, and they're gonna start bringing all the resources that this needs to be built. And then an engineer is gonna come once this is ready. By the way, these are just random people. They can be a worker, an engineer, a medic bringing stuff, whoever is idle and is not doing anything. And you know, once this is ready, one of these engineers will build this. And I really like this way of doing things. I kind of like it. It's not original, but it doesn't have to be original. It works, and this is great. So well choice there. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure where this guy's from. For some reason I think they're from either Brazil or Portugal, but I am not sure. I should look that up. I didn't. I'm sorry. There we go. So this guy's building it. There we go. Right, I did not need to build this, by the way. I want to clarify, like, dude, that's a very bad strategy. I know, I'm just showing this, I'm not saving this. So there we go, bam. Now this is getting full of oxygen. That's why it looks red, which is a nice detail. The game is really good at showing you, you know, giving you that feedback on what's happening and why. So I can click the edit button, and I can add all the elements that I can add here. In this case, I can only add a bioplastic processor to turn well, starch into bioplastic, and metal processor that will take ore and make it, you know, turn into metal. And I can add many of these. As you can see, I can add, you know, 4, 8. All right, there we go. Yeah, you can add 12 then, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did I get to 12? Oh my god, I should start making videos more early on the day, not on the very end of the day. My head is, I'm just not functioning that well anyway. And you need to build all these facilities for the little guys to live and do their stuff and replenish their different needs. Some stuff don't make sense, like an example, people will not be able to sleep in the bed if there is no power in the room. Not in the oxygen generator, in the room. So they can't sleep in a dark place because that dark place has no electricity. That doesn't make any sense, although I do understand they do it for balance purposes, you know, because you should be paying for all this, and you know, if you don't have power, you shouldn't be able to do anything. Although I think this is one of those things that you should be able to do while you don't have power, you know? You don't have power? Okay, take a nap, so you don't have to take it later. I would love it if, just for this, they would make an exception on energy requirements. I do not see why dorms should require this, really. I mean, sure, it is, I guess, to limit how many you build. I mean, I can build these cabins that are dedicated, like one person owns a bed, and that increases their morale once they get back up. So you can see the morale actually getting up on this case because it's sleeping on its own bed, right? But yeah, I understand that. It just doesn't make any sense, and it can be frustrating whenever you're having a hard time on a place where you didn't plan out things, because I love to build big buildings right off the bat, and that is the worst strategy you can do. So I try to see how far I can go with that plan without actually killing everybody. It makes it way harder, by the way. But anyways, so, and of course you can have landing ships, well, ships land, sorry, and some of them will want to trade stuff. You can, you know, trade some stuff, and we'll show you some kind of like artificial value, right? And then you can actually say, I want to buy some of these, right? And you can go, okay, I'm just gonna buy, you know, 1, but you can see there's a difference in value. There is 4 in my favor. This guy is taking away commissions, by the way, so I can add some cents, right? You can see this guy's taking a lot of commissions, so I can only fit 2 of these cents, right? Because it increases faster than it's actually worth. But anyways, and then I can accumulate that money to eventually, you know, use it in other transactions. So it's really nice that even coins are a resource, if you may. Now, the game has some issues. Let's talk about them. So it has some AI issues. Some of them I saw they were fixed in today's patch, but I'm not waiting any longer for, you know, making this video because, you know, if you didn't fix it by now, I'm sorry. I'll try to make this as, you know, to be able to age as good as possible. Make this video age as good as possible, but I need to at least call out what's wrong right now. So one of the things is the camera controls, which are pretty much the worst camera controls I've seen in a long while. It's worse than City Skylines. In example, you can't move the camera with the mouse except if you push on the edges. Why is that? I have a big screen. I don't want to move my mouse all over the place, and I'm not gonna change my sensitivity now, because then sandstorm detector. All right, so you can't use the right mouse button to move around, which is pretty much standard since 1990. You can't do that. You can't also pan around with the left mouse button. You can, however, do it with the middle mouse button, as you can see. But the point is, you end up moving with WASD, which can be really annoying. I actually use the arrow keys because of other reasons I'll tell you later. But even rotating the camera around doesn't work properly. An example, if I want to say click this building behind this billboard, right? I can sort of like click here and I can manage it, but usually what you do is you just rotate the camera a little bit, then you click, right? Or you just move, but you know, moving in this case is gonna, you know, move me away from this, so you just rotate the camera, right? That is the reason why you rotate camera. The problem is that the people who made this game, I think they missed what rotation in cameras is for in video games, because they just, oh man, they hit this, because here's what happened. Let's say I'm gonna rotate the camera so I can see around this, right? All right, let's rotate the camera. Bye. What is going on? Rotate actually takes you away from the view as opposed to showing you around stuff, because the rotation is on the camera. Like if the camera was being held on a single stick and, you know, that stick is moving around, there is no use for this. I can't use this, right? What you actually want is something like this. I'm gonna press Q and D to simulate this, right? This is what you want, right? This is the kind of rotation you want, not this. Okay, but of course I'm moving as I am pressing, like I'm pressing two keys to actually make this work, right? So you get the idea. The camera controls are not good, they're not comfortable. You can't do anything with the mouse pretty much. Okay, I have some intruders here. I'm not paying attention because I'm not saving this, but anyways. Oh man. Should I think everybody's gonna die, right? Let me check. Now I have some guards. Okay. Oh, no, okay, they're done. Well, anyways, I'm not saving this or whatever. And, yeah. So, what I was talking about. Yeah, another issue is time flow controls. It's not 1, 2, and 3. It's actually plus and minus. Why? Have you ever not played one of those games on which you have simulation speed controls? Like, they all have 1, 2, and 3. So, because of that, you end up using the right side of the keyboard to control the camera with up, down, left, and right, and then plus and minus to change the speed, right? So you actually have the hand on the right side of the keyboard as opposed to the left hand. I'm sure some are not playing like this, but that's what I found myself doing because I need to change the speed of the game fairly constantly. Unfortunately, there is no pause button whenever you need to think for a second, but that can be just, you know, game design decision. And of course, the user interface is not the greatest. I don't know why I cannot get a pop-up menu as opposed to this. A window that keeps on changing and moving the back button all over the place. It's just unacceptable, really. I mean, no, it's not unacceptable. I mean, it's just really annoying, right? Why? Why this? And there's no context. Where am I right now? Where am I? Am I in building? What is this that I'm looking at? Is this settings? What is it? There's no indicator for this. The user interface has no context, and you keep on having to switch over these windows. Like I need to click here to see the wind speed, and then click here to see the resources. Why? I have so much space on my screen. If you didn't make such huge buttons, I could just fit everything. So the user interface is not the greatest, but it's okay. Okay, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, guys. It's not the worst, but it's not great. And it could be improved. And you know, I like the game so much. I would love to have a better experience on it. That's what I'm saying. If I didn't care, I'll go like, well, it's a shitty game anyways. But it's not a shitty game. So you know, this stuff do matter on a game that is not shitty. Okay, so that's why we need to bring this up. Now, this may get you not the best idea, since this is not like a world I just started on. By the way, you can see sort of the distance you can build to, and it's pretty large. I pretty much you know, force myself inside a small area, so now I can't leave it. So I'm gonna create a new, I'm gonna create a new game and actually plan things a little bit better. This was my first run, but anyways, you can see I pretty much blocked myself. I built everything that is outside, you know. Well, on the outside, and now I can't keep building this way, right, with interior connections. So I'm just gonna be, you know, I'm gonna be creating a new save and just start all over. But you get the idea. We're gonna exit the game. Yes, I want to exit. This is the startup screen. You can go to settings if you wish. There is nothing to see there, but you can go. You can just the resolution, quality. I don't know what quality. Just random stuff, right? Like, I think this is made by Unity. It definitely looks like made of with Unity. I can tell. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's Unity. And so Ultra usually means, you know, Unity's max settings, period. And anti-aliasing on. Don't know what kind, but I don't know. MSAA, I'm gonna say. It's not FXAA for sure. No, is it? No, it's not. It's not too blurry. It's not too blurry. Anyways. And of course, settings for volume and language. It's nice that it's on different language, but there's nothing else here. Not even key binding, which again, keys are not the strength of the game, so it would be nice to have this. So we're gonna load another game. Oh, another save. All right, we're gonna go here, the planet that I pretty much fucked up. So this is the second out of the 3 planets you can play on. This is way harder. And in here, you can say I went for like really big buildings. I was like, I can make it. No, I couldn't. And I'm stressed about not having resources for anything. I don't have power. I can't build anything. I don't have the resources to do this. It's just horrible. It's a horrible experience right here. But anyways, and you will get situations in which, you know, because you know, the guys that should be working here and producing the food are not feeling well. They're not working, and therefore they don't produce food, and then nobody eats, and then everybody starts to starve, and then they die, and they also, you know, those in charge of these, the biologists, also die. So you have no way to keep producing this. So you need to, you know, find a way to bring new people, and you can bring new people, by the way. They will not have sex with each other and reproduce. That's alright, I guess. You know. Space babies, but you on landing permissions, you can set whether you want to receive traders or not, visitors that will use your facilities and then pay some coin, like 20, 40, maybe 60, and colonists. And you can set the target, which is pretty cool, so you do not have to micromanage it, or it's just random. You can set pretty much the percentage of population per specialization that you want to have, and the game will sort of find a way to make that happen, right? So in this case, you know, because I'm kind of running short of workers, but I have a lot of medics, it's most likely that the next person to come in will be a worker. Of course, it's not 100% accurate, and if you want to force it, you can just go all the way. The problem is whenever you want to reassign this, right? So say you have like all this, right? And then you want to set everything to, say, 30. Oh, that's gonna be a pain. I'm gonna set 30, 30, 30. No, not here. Okay, not here. Okay, yeah, it's a pain. See, yeah, I don't have enough for like 20, 30 each, but you get the idea. It's really hard because the percentages are moving all over the place, and you don't have the possibility to just remove everything and then reassign it. So it can be a pain. But anyways, and but I definitely like the system, even if the UI is not that good. The idea is really well placed. And then you have access to all sorts of like charts and so on, and you can just see what up. And it's not useful, but it's nice to see. These guys in here are just gonna die, so you know, I'm not. Yeah, I flunked up. I know I shouldn't have done big buildings. The tutorial told me. Oh, speaking of the tutorial is really bad. The tutorial is really long and I didn't even finish it. I went really like many minutes in, but it was just one wall of text after another. That is, you ask any game designer, if you have walls of text in your tutorial, you're doing it wrong. Ask any game designer that knows what he's doing, right? So look, if you don't know how to make a tutorial, it's better to have walls of text than no tutorial at all. So that's okay. But if you have time, take the opportunity to maybe make a scenario in which you can play and actually fail, right? Fail some stuff so you learned what happens when you do not do things. Instead, they bother you with all the what ifs if you build this and what happens if you don't do this and so on, and you have to remember. You feel like you need to remember all this, and the reality is that like it's just much better to just start a base, fuck things up, and then you learn them, right? And having maybe a control area to learn that would make a good tutorial for this game, not just reading a bunch of text every 2 seconds. And you don't get any freedom in that tutorial either. You need to complete the steps they tell you. So you're not even playing, you're just following steps. It's sort of like a very long, quick time event, so or slow time event, right? So, but besides all that, right? Even if the game, oh, sorry. I popped the oops, there we go, the Steam overlay. So even if the game has all those small faults in the UI or some stuff, overall the game is really good. You're gonna find a very interesting game to play on. I don't know how many hours it's worth. I have like over 10 hours spent on this. I have about 12 by now, and I got really addicted to it. It's really good, okay? And there's a lot to do. There's enough tools to deal with everything. It usually when things fail, it doesn't feel totally unfair. Sometimes they will not prioritize. Like some people may actually just die out of dehydration because nobody felt like building the drinking fountain that I told them to build, right? So they were like, I don't want to build the drinking fountain, I want to drink water. Well, hear what? If you build that, I'll let you drink it, right? So sometimes you have those situations, but they're rather minor. Overall, the game feels really good. The graphics are not the greatest, but they're very good for what they are. And actually, let me show you one of these fancy things that this has. This is the bar on which they just get the morale up. You can actually click this camera thing, right? You can just look around and you can see what they're doing. The textures actually are fairly good for a game on which you're playing from the top, but far away from the surface. Even the texture on the guys are really good. The animations of the guys themselves are not great, right? Like they just pop in and out from doing one thing. Like there's no transition and so on. So even all that, it's alright. It's alright. It's not, the game doesn't feel super polished at all. It doesn't feel like super polished like you would expect on other games that are super polished. I don't want to say AAA games because it's like saying that indie games can't polish games. And I've seen some indie games with maybe just one guy coding and doing everything, and those games can still be polished. So yeah, it just they didn't pay attention to some of this stuff. One more thing about the camera. You can't pan up and down. Why? I can only do it left and right side. Why? Why is that? Really? This, like, the horizon is fine, but I'd much rather be able to look a little bit down. I understand that maybe they did it so you see what time of the day it is and so on, I guess. That is a fairly good justification of why you can do it, but personally I would love to just go a little bit more top down, right? Because I feel like I just have to, right? But yeah, the camera controls. Anyways, besides that, the game is very solid overall. Even if it's not like super polished, it's fairly polished and it has enough amount of detail. There's enough variety on the decisions you can make. You actually feel like you're making decisions, and it's highly entertaining, highly addicting. And if you like any kind of game from like SimCity, City Skylines, or tycoon games like Roller Coaster Tycoon or anything tycoonish, you're gonna love this game. I'm pretty confident you will love this game. So want to go over some quick scores before I tell you whether it's worth getting or not for the price it's listed on Steam. Well, graphics, I'm gonna say good. above average. It's definitely good. It's definitely good. It's not gonna blow your mind, but they're good. That's a solid, good graphics. Okay, and very, very good aesthetic. Okay, you get some moments in which the game just looks plain beautiful. So really good aesthetics. As for gameplay is really solid as well. So I would say very good gameplay. Polish, I would say average. Audio work, average. It has a fairly good variety of sound effects. No, let me say that again. It has sound effects for many things, but they all sound the same, right? The same alerts, the same laser, the same voice whenever they die. It's all the sound effects are highly repetitive, even if there is a sound effect for different things. It's not like a mute game, right? And the music it's alright. It's alright. Sometimes it actually sounds like SimCity Cities of Tomorrow, but SimCity Cities of Tomorrow, they were actually inspired on other stuff. So it's inspiration of inspiration of inspiration. I don't know who came up with those futuristic sounds first. So, anyways. It's iterations over other people's work, which is fine. I actually agree. That's how you actually evolve in the medias, right? You need to see what others are doing, so that's good. And user interface, I would say average. Camera controls bad. But yeah, besides all that, I think if we wrap it up, the game is listed for $18. Now, I normally would not like to just associate how good a game is based on its cost, right? Like, does it then make free games infinitely awesome because you're dividing by 0 and everything that you divide by 0 you get infinite, right? Well, so I don't think that's exactly the case. However, is it worth your time? Oh yes, it's definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth your time. And for $18, about $20 for many hours of gameplay, like maybe you can easily get 20, 30 or even 40 hours of gameplay with the current content. I wouldn't say more, but if you get really addicted, you can definitely get to 40 hours or even more. For $20, yeah, definitely go ahead. It wouldn't be worth it maybe for 30 or 40, but 20, yeah, actually 18. Yes, I would say definitely yes. It's a very good purchase. It's a solid game, and it's a definitely a different thing that you are doing, right? It's a different thing that you are doing. It's not SimCity in space, right? It's not SimCity at all. It's a completely different game. It's something, there's something unique about it that it's worth playing this game as opposed to just playing another one that resembles it, right? And it's definitely fun, it's well done. So definitely if you like what you see right here, go ahead and get it. And if you do have great shots, people post beautiful pictures in our forum, so go ahead and do it at discuss.simnation.tv, links in the comment section below. But for now, that is all. Make sure you, by the way, like the video if you would like to see more content like this. And if you're not subscribed for whatever reason that may be, I have no idea, but you should ask yourself why not. This is a fairly entertaining channel made of awesome, I would say awesome people, many awesome people that make content for your entertainment, so go ahead and subscribe. But for now, that is all. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. We are God in SimCity 4. Wow, that was loud. Oh, you're gonna eat that, huh? You're gonna eat it. I see. What? Nothing. Okay.
And now she is tossing that salad with her... Stop sticking your finger in your ear! Alright, she's tossing the salad with her earwax.
Yeah.
It does.
It does them really well. Okay.
Oh, they're coming for you, Pablo!
Shit,
Run!
Oh, yeah. These road trips, man, are killing me.
Anyway, let me know whenever we are recording. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Extended Play. I'm your host, this is Stuart, and that is a fancy sign. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.